皆様本日は WebX2025 にご来場いただきまして誠にありがとうございます。これよりピッチステージ再開とさせていただきます。本日最後のピッチステージとなりますのでよろしくお願いいたします。タイトルはこちらです。 Beyond the Hype UPCX はいかにして現実世界のブロックチェーン問題を解決するか。 Beyond the Hype How UPCX is solving the real world blockchain problem。パネリストはこちらです。 UPCX-Platforms よりヨーク・ワイスハー様です。 Our panelist will be Mr. Joerg Weisshaar from UPCX-Platforms. So let's welcome him with a big round of applause. 大きな拍手でお迎えください。ワイスハー様です。 So the stage is yours.
So hello everyone, my name is Joerg and I'm one of the co-founders of UPCX, and I hope you're having a great time here at WebX 2025. I know that it's already late, so I try to keep it as simple as possible, but please bear with me for a little bit. So in the next 10 to 15 minutes, I want to talk about something we all want. I think we all want a future where blockchain technology is not just cool, but where it's actually really genuinely useful. But before we dive in, let me ask a short question. Who was here actually last year? Come on, don't be shy. No one? But I can see some UPCX t-shirts out there, so thank you for your support. And for those that don't know about us yet, rest assured and no worries, I get you up to speed. So for those who don't know us yet, we are a high-speed, high-throughput Layer 1 blockchain that is optimized for payments and for financial services. At a time when blockchain projects still struggled with performance, speed, and reliability, we decided to look at the core technologies again and refine them in a way that makes sense for a Layer 1 financial blockchain infrastructure, balancing high-speed performance with scalability, cost efficiency, and sustainability. Last year's WebX was actually our first major public event, and it was the first time we truly showcased what our core technology can do. However, we didn't just talk about it. We participated to prove it. By using a real testnet infrastructure with real servers and real financial data, we demonstrated a reliable transaction speed of about 100,000 transactions per second with a 1-second payment finality. That was our way of showing the world that our commitment to performance and reliability is real, and that payment infrastructure based on blockchain technology can work even on a Layer 1 blockchain. I believe that it was this transparency that earned us much goodwill from the Japanese Web3 community and everyone who visited our booth later on. So if you're also here today, thank you very much for that. But of course, it probably also didn't hurt that we had some awesome t-shirts and tote bags. So feel free to check them out later if you have time. Today, we don't have so much left anymore, so probably it's better to come tomorrow, but definitely please check them out. But let's get back to the main topic. After many years of hard work, it was amazing to finally step out of the shadows at last year's WebX 2024, and now we are back, almost exactly 1 year later, and even as one of the sponsors. Just wow. So you can believe me when I say that it has been a crazy year with many developments, many exciting new partnerships, such as the partnership with Entity Digital, and great things to look forward to. However, despite all these developments, as UPCX, there's one thing that we've never lost sight of. With UPCX, we are building a future where real-world use of blockchain technology is a reality. From the very beginning on, UPCX has been laser-focused on real financial use cases that go beyond simple push payments, and has been striving to build a blockchain payment infrastructure that is high in performance, but also allows for payments use cases and user experiences that everyone is expecting today, and that just makes sense also in the future. Think about your daily life. How easy to set up automatic payments from your bank account or your credit card for your utilities, your phone bill, or for monthly subscriptions. You just set it up once and it just works. The same accounts for making payments at a store via a mobile wallet. You decide on if you want to pay via NFC, or if you want to read a QR code, or if you want to pay with a card, or even if you want to get a code on your device read and paying by that. You are free in your choices, and at least most of the time it even works. This is kind of simplicity we take for granted in the traditional world. Yet, for many layer 1 blockchains, these are surprising difficult features to implement, and therefore most of the industry has moved on towards a modular layer 1, layer 2 design. While the introduction of technologies like ZK rollups and chain abstractions were game changers, we believe that there are still complexities that go beyond this very simplicity that we've come to expect. So what do we different? Here comes UPCX. We have integrated a smart contract-based programmable payment layer directly into our high-speed layer 1 blockchain. So we do not just deliver the performance that is needed for a global scale infrastructure of frictionless payments, but we also enable the different payment functionalities that are needed and expected in daily life as well as in business life, all on one single chain. So think about, for example, about payment automation via scheduled payments or recurring payments. Having to pay utilities or subscription fees, no problem. Just set it up and it works. Payroll for a DAO or a remote team, just set it up and let a smart contract handle the rest. Everything is on-chain and everything is under your self-custody. This is not just a feature, it is a foundation for applications that need this critical functionality built in from the start. What about payments to someone that you haven't met yet before, or transactions that should be just made if certain conditions are actually met? This is where our non-custodial escrow functionality comes in handy. Gone are the days where you needed different third-party services to safeguard your transactions or payments. Just set it up and enjoy verifiable trust. But this payment layer does not just help us to create automation and verifiable trust. It also helps us in improving governance, control, and accountability. No matter if you're a DAO, a startup, or a family, when shared funds are involved, probably it's a good idea to set up more detailed rules on when and with whose authorization certain transactions can be made. This is what our multi-signature and threshold payment functionality provides. I think it is rather self-explanatory in the business context. But think about, for example, about a family wallet, where your kids can just make payments when you or your spouse approve. Wouldn't that be actually useful? So these are some of the functionalities and capabilities that the integration of this programmable payment layer allows for. And just on a side note, you can actually take a look at them in a playground version of them at our booth. But even more importantly, together with core functions of UPCX, such as named accounts and stablecoin support, about which we already talked at last year's WebEx extensively, it moves the UPCX blockchain towards being a holistic Web3 payment infrastructure, combining performance with functionalities and capabilities that are needed for real-world use payment implementation. And having all this on one single chain offers, of course, also big advantages for new developers that want to build something on UPCX. But this is not where the UPCX journey ends. No matter if we talk about modular L1, L2 solutions or about our UPCX blockchain, I think that the performance bottleneck is actually solved. And already today, the blockchain and Web3 community can be proud to have done much good by, for example, bringing financial access and services to many unbanked people, as well as improving cross-border transactions. But in doing so, we have also introduced new complexities that often just make sense to a cryptographer or a seasoned technology fan, and therefore made it hard to walk the last mile towards mass adaptation. So should a normal person really have to care about which network to choose in order to successfully make a transaction? Should we have to worry which coins we have to hold in order to make transactions actually possible? And to be honest, What about seed phrases and public keys and private keys? Should a normal person have to complete an introductory course in cryptography in order to securely engage with this new technology? I think the answer is no. And if you try to make your grandparents or your parents engage with blockchain technology, then you will most likely agree with me, because it's very hard to understand for someone who does not come out of this industry. So we know that these challenges also relate to the blockchain trilemma, which you have probably heard of, and therefore have to be carefully considered and are not easily solved. But at UPCX, we strongly believe that we can and must do better in making this technology usable and accessible to everyone. Therefore, after showing and proving what our core technology can do at WebEx 2024 last year, and providing you with a first impression of what our smart contract-based payment layer can do on our Layer 1 blockchain at this WebEx 2025, we are already working hard on putting everything together in an app that is truly usable by everyone. We are building this not just as a product to engage with our blockchain and to get one step closer to making real-world use cases a reality, but as a proof of concept, showing the world what a simple, accessible, and powerful blockchain experience can look like for everyone. We are proud to say that for UPCX, this was the vision from the beginning on, and not just something that we have recognized lately and are trying to put on top as an afterthought. And finally, now we are getting closer to it. Because if we want to go beyond payments, as our slogan says, we don't just have to provide security, reliability, and functionality. We have to do it in a way that is at least as simple and accessible as the tools and services that people are used to interact with today. That's part of our vision, and that's what we are building. So even though we are still in the designing and development phase, and things might turn out slightly different in terms of design and functionality later on, let's take a short look at what we are envisioning at UPCX as our next step. Please take a look at this video. Usually there should be some sound as well, but I think you can get also the gist by looking at the screen. So as you can see, I think the final step, the final mile that every blockchain project has to go is to create something that really everyone can use, not just a cryptographer or someone who really likes technology. And that's our next step on our journey as UPCX. And I hope that next year when we join this conference again, we can show you something that not just makes us proud, but also you as well. So thank you very much for your attention. And no matter if you're a developer or a business interesting to build with us, we are more than happy to, or we're very looking forward to meet you at our booth. そしてもちろん日本語の対応でも大丈夫なんで、ブースの方にはちゃんと日本語で話します。And of course, you're also more than welcome to take a first-hand look at some of the functionalities I was talking about of our payment layer at our booth. So let's get together and finally make the real-world use of blockchain technology a reality. This is Joerg from UPCX, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Joerg, and we'll be moving on to a photo shoot. So, T 字路のところにお貸しください。はい、ありがとうございました。ヨークさんでした。どうぞ大きな拍手でお送りください。Thank you very much.